Hello again. What the fuck's up? How was your day? Was it good? You can't answer me. Well, I suppose you could. I don't care. Alright. I want to talk about two things. Well, I want to talk more about Gaza, but I'm going to do that second. We'll start with my new least favorite place on the planet to go in. It's the worst place ever, and I'm talking about Ikea. The first Ikea store in Michigan opened about a year or two ago, I want to say, in Canton, a couple of miles from where I live, and I'm doing some shit in my room. I had this big fucking monstrous table that had been in there for like 10 years, and it was just taking up too much space, and it's ugly as shit. So I got rid of that. So I needed something to put my TV on, and I have a lot more books than my little bookcase can hold, so I need a new bookcase, right? So I'm gonna go out and get a bookcase and like a TV stand, you know. Now I've been to Ikea once, but it was literally like the week that it opened, and I went there shopping for a futon, and they failed me. But I tricked myself because my friends who have an apartment together bought some new tables and like a lamp or some shit from Ikea, and they're like, "No, it's not that bad. They're real cheap. It's great stuff." I'm like, "You better not be fucking lying to me." And they're like, "No, it's straight." I'm like, "All right." So the first place I go yesterday looking for shit is Ikea. First of all, I come to the front of the building, and I don't even need to go inside to be pissed off. Besides the fact that it's a monstrous and ugly building, all painted blue with a yellow stripe and shit on it. It's huge. It's like it looks like someplace you build 747s inside of. It's monstrous. And it has, you know, all the parking lots have number and letter designations, the kind of shit that you'd expect to see when you go to a sporting event. I was like, am I at the Joe Louis Arena? I don't fucking think so. I'm at a store. It's not even a mall, it's just one fucking store. Anyway, I look at, they got flags in the front, right? And it's a Swedish company. Swedish? I believe Swedish. And they got, you know, flags out front. Now, apparently nobody fucking knows how to fly an American flag, which just irks me so much. I guess it's the Boy Scout in me. But when you fly a fucking American flag, the shit is gotta be the highest of all the other flags around it. This is not the UN, alright? If you're flying an American flag on American soil, along with any other flags, doesn't matter what they are, another country, the state flag, you know, the McDonald's flag, whatever the fuck you got, the American flag has to be the highest. And it wasn't. It wasn't the fucking highest. It was at the same level as the Swedish and Michigan state flags, and that shit pisses me off. It wasn't like they were raised to the same level. I mean, the flag poles were built to be at the same level. I'm like, this is not the Swedish fucking embassy. It's Ikea. That shit pisses me off. Because it's one of those little fucking oversights. You'd figure somebody somewhere would be like, hey, that's not the right way to do it before they had these things built, but they don't. This is the kind of shit that apparently only pisses me off. So I go into this fucking building. And apparently there's a system of designation for like the sections of the building that I'm not aware of, because I have no idea how anybody can find something in this monstrosity. It is built like a maze, so you are forced to go through everything in order to get back out, and there is no rhyme or reason to the setup, so you will literally get lost. You will not be sure where you came in and where the exit is. And most of the people inside of this building, I noticed, were young couples with the woman. You can tell, alright, you can tell when people are shopping. There's two different kinds of people when they're shopping, alright? There's the kind of people who are they just like shopping. They just, you know, they're wandering, they're going real slow, and they're looking at all the different stuff with no rhyme or reason as to where they're going. And then there's people that are looking for some shit, like I was. Unfortunately, I had no idea where I was fucking going. And so you'd see these women walking around looking at something, and you'd see her husband or boyfriend or whatever the fuck he was walking behind her with his, like, half dead with his eyes glazed over, holding some pillows and some silverware. Not quite sure where he is or how he got there. And that's sort of how I felt. Because I had no idea where the fuck I was. And every time I tried to go up to get help from somebody, they like, walked away and found some other shit to do. And don't believe the lies, because the shit isn't cheaper, alright? I looked at these bookcases. The same bookcase that I ended up buying at Myers. I think Myers is sort of a regional thing around it. It's kind of like Walmart, except not evil. I got the same shit at Walmart for half the price. They wanted $80 for this bookshelf at Ikea. I got it for less than half the price. I got it for $35 at Myers. So yeah, they're lying sacks of shit. And you got to go down, and every product has a number assigned to it, and you got to go down and fucking find the bin that the thing is in, and then you take it. So you're not even the upstairs is just the looking around thing. Then you have to get lost trying to get downstairs. There's a restaurant inside of this building. There's like a daycare center, but most of the kids are just running around at random, and they've even built little tunnels into some of the walls so that the children can run around. It's so big that I would not be surprised if a bunch of kids got lost and starved to death and died. It's a monstrous building, and there's one tiny little way to get out that I didn't see for like 5 or 10 minutes. I thought the only other way to get out was to go through a cash register, because I didn't buy anything at that shithole. So yeah, don't go to IKEA. Just don't do it. Everything that's wrong with America is inside of IKEA, and most of it's Swedish. I can understand why some people hate the idea of capitalism, because that is capitalism at its worst. Is an IKEA store. People buying shit made in Canada, sold by a Swedish company for 3 or 4 or 5 times as much as it's worth. Fucking terrible. It's terrible. It's a bad thing. Just don't do it. Anyway, so that was that. But I want to talk more about Gaza. I want to talk about this shit because people just don't seem to fucking get it. Go away, cat. You know why I don't... why I have an initial bias against Israel? I don't give a fuck about them. And people just don't seem to realize this because for some reason it's not fucking talked about. Now, the main reason, not the whole reason, don't get me wrong, but the main reason that people in the Middle East, terrorists like Al-Qaeda, hate us is because we support Israel. That's a fucking fact. That's a fucking fact. And Israel tries to decide our foreign policy. A while ago they were like, they were trying to goad us into attacking Iran, which is really scary because we might even be that fucking stupid. So I don't understand why people are so quick to jump up Israel's ass. Our support of Israel is the main reason that we were attacked on 9/11. That's just a fucking fact. Listen, I know a lot of you people, a lot of you neocon type people, or you people that think in a neocon sort of way, even though you don't know that you're doing it. You labor under the delusion that these terrorists attacked us because they hate our democracy and they hate our freedom and all this stupid No, they didn't do that. Nobody fucking does that. That's retarded. They did that shit because we support Israel. If anything, if we didn't support Israel, I believe that the Middle East would love us because we buy a bunch of their shit, their oil. They attacked us because we support Israel, and through our support of Israel, we put a bunch of military bases in their fucking land. I'm not defending their terrorist attacks on 9/11 and shit like that, obviously, but I'm just telling you that that's just the way it fucking is. That's the reason that they attacked us. That's why I'm not gonna suck Israel's dick, especially when they don't deserve all the support that we give them in the first place. An Israeli tank fired 2 shells into a UN truck and killed the man driving it, and the UN has had to suspend bringing in its food and medicine and whatnot. And here's the best part about it. Not only was the truck painted with a UN symbol, flying a UN flag, but it was a convoy that the UN had approved with the IDF and told them that they were going to be going through there, and it was during the 3-hour ceasefires that they are doing now for the last couple days to allow humanitarian aid through. And not even Israel has suggested that the UN was smuggling weapons. They just fucking shot them. That's too big of a mistake to be excusable. So they've fired on a UN school, killing 40 people, most of them children, even after the UN said, hey, this is a school with children in it. And they fired on a UN truck, and they won't let any reporters in, and they'll only allow 3 hours to get humanitarian aid through, but they've had to suspend it because they've been shooting at the humanitarian aid convoys. What the fuck is up with that shit? That is not fucking excusable. Even when we invaded Iraq, we had at least had reporters embedded with the troops. I mean, they were close enough in with our troops to you know, show exactly what they were doing. Remember when Geraldo got fucking sent home because he was being a cocksuck and drawing shit in the sand? I believe that was Geraldo. They won't even let the reporters in to see what's going on. How the fuck can you be on Israel's side in this shit? Do you not understand the fucking situation? Cat, you're bugging me. Get out of here. They had this place, this Gaza, under siege, essentially, only letting in less than 100 trucks worth of shit daily for one of the most densely populated areas on the planet. Israel broke the ceasefire first. Sorry, guess what? That's what fucking happened. Deal with it. Everyone that says that Hamas broke the ceasefire first is lying. Israel hit those tunnels, alright? And the tunnels are still part of Gazan territory. That constitutes breaking the fucking ceasefire. You shoot, it's breaking the ceasefire. Israel doesn't get to decide what breaking the ceasefire is. Israel broke the fucking ceasefire. Alright? Now, somebody on some video asked what I think is a legitimate question. Why are people so freaked out about this when people are dying all the time? My answer, my reason for this is because I am tired of the United States, us, being dragged into shitty situations by Israel and being fed bullshit about Israel by the American media. Now, it's not a Jew thing, because you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. This is another thing. Watch out for Christians who are defending Israel really, really hard during shit like this. You want to know one of the main reasons that these Christians are really gung-ho for Israel? They don't give a fuck about Israeli citizens. They don't give a shit. What they want to happen is they want Israel, get this is great, I love this. They want Israel to tear down the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, the second holiest shrine in all of Islam. They want the Jews to tear it down, right, and rebuild Solomon's temple, okay? You want to know why? Because they think it's going to bring about the end times told about in the book of Revelations. These Christians are willing to spark the biggest holy war ever because they want to bring about the end of days. So watch out for these Christians that are defending Israel, especially when they throw in biblical things. You know, it's an affront to God to not support the chosen people. No, that's the reason that they're doing it. That's why they send millions and millions of dollars every year to certain groups in Israel who plan on building this temple. And I could give less of a shit about any of these people's holy sites outside of the realm of them being interesting historical landmarks. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you even hinted at a serious plan to tear down the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, do you have any idea what these crazy bastards would fucking do? They burn down buildings, or they burn cars and like threaten to murder people over cartoons in a Danish newspaper. Can you imagine what would happen if the Israelis actually tore down the Dome of the Rock? This is the kind of crazy shit that we're dealing with here, alright? And Israel does not get off scot-free, okay? Yeah, Hamas has done some fucked up shit. Alright, yeah, they've sponsored some suicide bombings, okay? But can you please explain to me why it's wrong for a guy to strap a bomb to himself and walk into a market and kill a bunch of people, but it's not wrong for a guy in an F-16 to drop a bomb on a market and kill a bunch of people? I'm having a hard time grappling with this in my brain, because to me they're the same fucking thing. Israel doesn't get off scot-free for killing all those people. Just like we don't get off scot-free for killing all the people we killed in Iraq and Afghanistan. Think about why you're supporting Israel, if you are. Think about why you automatically leap to it. And think about the word terrorist, which is something I'd really like to see taken out. I mean, I made the mistake of saying it several times during this video, because it's been ingrained into our heads. What you have to understand is that one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. You know, I'm not going to say, I don't believe Al-Qaeda to be freedom fighters, because that's not the goal. They're not trying to liberate any sort of territory from us when they attacked us on 9/11. But Hamas, that we may see as a terrorist organization, is most likely seen by a lot of people in Gaza as fucking freedom fighters. Think about that shit. You know what they called? They called us terrorists, or something similar to it, when we fought England during the Revolutionary War. You have to think about the way the words you use and how they affect your thinking. Words are very important. The old adage, you know, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. No, words can do a lot of damage, because what words have done, what the word terrorist has done, is it's made you dehumanize all the people living in the Gaza Strip. It's made you see them as not people. And it's made you think that it's okay, it's just, oh, it's our bad if we accidentally bomb a school and kill 30 people, most of them children. Because if you're in America and you hear shooting from the direction of a school, does the police department blow up the school? No, they don't, okay? It doesn't make it right to do it when the military does it either. That's the way it fucking works, okay? They've tricked you by using this word terrorist. So you have to think really, really hard about the words you're using. And about because you think with language. George Carlin always talked about this. Go listen to George Carlin. The quality of our thoughts and ideas can only be as good as the quality of our language. So we need to start rethinking words like this, like terrorist, and realizing that it doesn't apply 100% of the time. And that other people on the other side don't see them as terrorists. Alright? This is the kind of shit I want people to think about. And if people think that I'm a crazy, you know, I support terror, whatever, I don't care. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to fall in and defend Israel when they don't deserve to be defended. I'm just not going to do it. Just like I'm not going to defend us when we don't deserve to be defended, when we do some terrible shit like invading Iraq with no fucking reason. Alright? Israel doesn't get a free pass, neither do we. Okay? That's what we need to fucking think about. That's the end of that. So, don't go to Ikea.